Hello, and welcome to the first broadcast of 2022, y'all. Can you believe it? Can you believe it's 2022? Y'all, I'm Kelly Coulter, and I'm here coming live in the Fitness Music Lounge as well as in YouTube. And I want to talk to you today about how to make real change in 2022. So, how many times have you started out the year saying, this is going to be my year? I'm going to do all the things. I'm going to have all the stuff. I'm going to make all the money. I'm going to have all the clients. I'm going to make all the changes in my clients' lives. I'm going to learn all the things. I'm going to lose all the weight or have the body or get the car, whatever it is. How many times do you start the year saying that? And then by Valentine's Day, it's a different story. Things are not happening. And by the end of the year, you're making the same resolutions as last year. I know in my health, I've done that. In my business, I've done that. I've had the years where I'm like, I'm going to make 350 this year. I'm going to make 500 this year. And then start to have the same patterns as last year and get the same results as last year and the same as I started. This happens to all of us in relation to our fitness and our health, right? How many have done that in the relation to the fitness and the health? Happens in business development, happens with our finances. I'll start the year saying, I'm going to look at my bank account every Monday. I'm going to know what I spent all my money on. I'm going to put away a certain amount into savings. And then, by February, it's not happening. We do it in relation to relationships. I'm going to spend more time with my kids this year. I'm going to make sure that we have quality time at dinner, all of those things. And then old patterns happen, same thing as last year. Happens in relation to goals that we set for things like our location. How much do we travel? How much do we move? A lot of people want to move locations and they never end up doing it. Why is it that we do that? Why is it that we declare we know we want something and we don't make it happen? That's what I want to talk to you about today. What is the science in your brain behind why it is that you know that you want something and you don't actually ever make it happen? So first, I want to ask you this. If you're watching me live, give me a hashtag live. If you're watching me in replay, give me a hashtag replay and then comment with this. Do you have a real significant change that you want to make this year? And you don't have to tell me what it is. You can if you want. Bonus points if you do. You don't have to tell me what it is, but I want to hear, do you have a real change that you want to make this year? Because today we're talking about the science of how and why your brain wants to keep you stuck in the patterns and the results from last year and what to do to help your brain get onto a path toward your best year yet. So give me a comment. I want to hear, do you have a real change that you want to make this year? And bonus points if you tell me what it is, but you don't have to. Give me a hashtag live or give me a hashtag replay. Let me know that you're watching. So I want you to stay to the end. We're talking about the science of how and why your brain wants to keep you stuck, how those old patterns show back up, and how to keep that from happening this year. And I want you to stay to the end because by the end of this session, I will have taught you about why our brains force us to remake the same day essentially every single day. I'm going to talk about how making decisions based on your current situation and circumstances actually keeps you stuck in your past, and how to create a vision that serves as a map to your future self. So first, let me say this. Welcome to my Monday Live here in the Fitness Music Lounge. These sessions that I do every other Monday in the Fitness Music Lounge are meant just for you, the fitness instructors and the personal trainers who are working the front lines in the fitness industry, gym managers, physical therapists, all of us working the front lines in the fitness industry, making a real difference, one client and one workout at a time. I want to thank you for taking the time to be with me today because I know in January you are going to be busier than you are all year. So make sure you take the time for this little bit of personal development as we move through January and into February, because if you do, you will be doing not only yourself a service, but also your clients. Because when you take a little bit of time for your own personal development, you make more space and more energy and more room for helping those people whose lives you are changing in January. So I'm Kelly Coulter. I've been a fitness instructor as well as an online marketing geek since the 90s. I coach fitness instructors and personal trainers on creating businesses that help them to step away from the gym if they choose to, help them to make more impact with more people, and help them to build the businesses that they love running. I believe that as fitness professionals, it is our time. It is our time in this world to take action proactively and help create a healthier population. I lead the Grow Your Fitness Business group for instructors and trainers who are looking to create a profitable direct to consumer business. Here in the Fitness Music Lounge, I helped Denise and Muscle Mixes create this group because I believe in fitness instructors. I believe in creating community. And I want to help come on every other Monday and deliver tools and processes that will help you serve your clients better and enjoy your job more. So, whether you're going direct to consumer or whether you are sticking in the facility, I want to be here to help you serve your clients better by getting that mindset right, by understanding the industry better, understanding trends, understanding what goes on with us as fitness professionals, as well as what goes on with our clients. All right. So that's what we do here. That's who I am. I want to tell you a little bit of a personal story that ties in with this whole idea of the science behind your brain creating the same day for you every day. And then we're going to tie it all together. So, if you know me, if you've worked with me, you know that I have a lot of a corporate background, right? I was one of those instructors. I've been teaching since 1994, but I was one of those instructors that worked full time outside of the fitness industry in order to afford my career in the fitness industry. So I worked in online marketing. I had a couple of big corporate jobs. I led teams of web developers, and the last job that I had it ended in 2014. I left in 2014 and I started my marketing firm after that. But that last job in corporate was a little bit high profile and it was really, really stressful. Now, why do I tell you that? I tell you that because I gained a bunch of weight while I was in that job. I was emotional eating and it was not pretty. I could not stop myself. It was this really self destructive pattern, and I just kept on doing it. And I gained like 35, 40 pounds within a year or so. It was super ugly. And when you get to be 35, 45 years old, it's harder to lose that weight. And so I kept it on. I couldn't get rid of it and I couldn't figure out how to lose it. And every year I would make that resolution, right? I am going to lose this weight this year. And then I left corporate America and I started my company and I thought, okay, I'm not stressed out anymore. I won't be emotional eating. And so surely I'm going to lose this weight, right? And as I built my business, what I noticed is that the stresses of the corporate America pressure were gone, but I wasn't taking the weight off. And I would make that resolution every year and I would do the things for a few weeks and the old patterns would come back and nothing would happen. And then one year I made a different resolution. One year I made a resolution that I was just going to do 5 minutes of yoga and meditation every day. And I wasn't going to make that old resolution about the weight at all. And I'm not going to credit yoga and meditation for helping me start to take the weight off. But what I will tell you is this: I started doing the yoga and meditation every day, just 5 minutes. I said 30 days. It started as a 30-day resolution. That turned into 60 days. That turned into 90 days. That turned into a year. That turned into 5 years. And what I noticed at about 60 days in is that I had really turned a corner on all of this anxiety and depression that I had been carrying around for a really long time. I had turned a corner and I felt different. And what kept me going from 60 days to 90 days to 6 months to a year was that every time I practiced my yoga and meditation, I walked through the day just more comfortable in my body, right? So I remember this distinctively. I would distinctly, it was the summer, and I would do my thing, my yoga, my meditation, and I would be so comfortable. I would feel so freaking good in my body, and I would go and I would like put on my bathing suit because we're going on the boat. And I knew I didn't look great in my bathing suit, but y'all, I did not care anymore. I did not care. I felt so comfortable in my own body that the weight almost didn't matter anymore. And then I stopped emotional eating, and then the weight came off. But it was because I turned a corner on that anxiety. So I want to talk about that because at the end, I'm going to bring that all together and tell you how those feelings can fit in to creating a vision for your future. So I just want you to keep that in mind that emotion, the emotions and the feelings can really help us to create a map. Okay. So I'm I'm going to kind of switch subjects right now and let's talk about your brain. Your brain is this master of evolution. We are all evolved from the primal brain, from cavemen, right? So there were Neanderthals. They learned how to keep themselves safe by watching each other and by getting hurt and learning what keeps them safe. Science is now telling us that trauma can actually be transferred by DNA from generation to generation. So, in very physical, real, tangible ways, as well as in very emotional ways, our brains evolve to keep us safe. That is part of your brain's job. That is your primal brain's job. So, your brain it has evolved to keep you safe. And if you imagine somebody who has never seen a car, let's say you go into the rainforest and you find one of those tribes where they've never been contacted by modern man, and you bring them out to the highway. The first thing they're going to do is see a car, maybe see a cell phone, something like that. They're going to run back to the safety of their own environment and they're going to stay there, right? That is what your primal brain does. It keeps you safe. So the decisions that we make every day are based on what has kept us safe in the past. In the past, right? So, in very real, tangible ways, your brain is bringing that safe past forward into the future. If you've ever burned yourself on a hot stove, you know that reaction that your brain has when you see the red eye on the stove and nothing's on top of it. You've got a very real, tangible reaction that happens in your stomach. So every day, without our knowledge or with our knowledge, we are making decisions that keep us safe based on what has kept us safe in the past. And that is what's called your comfort zone, right? So the first time I ever taught a fitness class, so I taught step was my first type of class that I taught. And I can remember that feeling to this day. I can remember that feeling of stepping in front of that crowd of people. And it was exhilarating and exciting and also scary as hell. Now, 27 years later, I can step in front of a crowd of people and teach them a fitness class without a second thought, right? Because it's within my comfort zone. But when I first did it, it was not within my comfort zone. Your caveman is always going to come out and speak to you when you're getting out of that comfort zone. Your caveman doesn't know what it looks like to have a 27-year career, of teaching fitness classes. Your caveman knows what it's like to be in the back row taking step class or excuse me, all I have a little bit of a cold today. So your caveman knows what it's like to feel safe and does not know what it's like to do the thing that you want to do, right? And so it's always going to be pulling you back, trying to keep you safe. And your caveman is sneaky. Your caveman will give you sneaky thoughts. Your caveman will manufacture things to keep you from doing the thing that's going to move you forward. So, on that first day when I've taught that first step aerobics class, um, I might have thought, my stomach doesn't feel well, or I have to be somewhere else. Your caveman will manufacture all these sneaky thoughts to keep you safe, to keep you away from that highway and those cell phones when you don't know what those are. Your caveman will give you imposter syndrome. So, a big piece of that syndrome, those thoughts that say, who am I to blah, blah, blah? Who am I to teach this step class to this crowd of people? Who am I to get out of the safety of my tribal area and go see what a highway looks like? The imposter syndrome is something that your caveman does to keep you safe because caveman is sneaky. Your caveman will manufacture physical symptoms to keep you safe. So, a lot of us, and I'd love to see your comments on this, a lot of us experienced the first time we had to teach online, our brain would come up with all these excuses. So maybe it was my stomach doesn't feel well, I've got a cold. Maybe it was one of the kids is sick. Your caveman will actually manufacture physical illness for you in order to keep you from doing that thing that you are afraid of doing, even if you don't realize you're afraid of it for the first time. It will manufacture circumstances. It will make priorities bigger than they are. So you might tell yourself something like, I have to go to the grocery store and now is the only time I can do it. And so I can't possibly go live and teach this fitness class online today. When actually that's just your caveman not knowing what it looks like to successfully have taught that class. All right, so that is how your brain keeps you safe. And now you can see how we bring that safe past into our present every day, right? That is how our brains force us to remake our past each day. Now, we want to talk about moving into the future because all of us have a vision for 2022 that is different from 2021. And what I want you to get by the end of this talk is that you have to do more than just know that you have the vision in order to make your brain feel safe moving toward that vision. So, one of the things that you have to do in order to move yourself forward is you have to make different decisions, right? So we know how to make the decisions we've always been making, and that's how we've gotten where we are. So the safety, the comfort, the knowledge that we have from the past has gotten us to here. And I want to call that level 6. So level 6 out of 10, that's where we're at. And we want to get to 10 by the end of 2022. The non caveman, right? The end of 2022 version of yourself is a level 10. But right now, you're only at level 6, level 7, level 4, whatever it is. Level 10 involves completely different decisions than you've made in the past. You cannot make the decisions about the way you spend your time, about the way you invest your resources, and about the things that you give your attention to in the same ways anymore. So, making decisions based on where you are now, based on the evidence that you can see around you, will keep you stuck at the same level. You will never get to non-caveman. You will never get to end of 2022, level 10, you making decisions based on where you are now. You have to be able to see further ahead. So let's talk about a level 10 investment of time, resources, and attention. In order to get to level 10, it requires you to be the person that level 10 per you will be. So that means that you spend your time differently. When you look at end of 2022 you, when you look at the person that has the Tesla or has the 100 um, regular clients, that has the the body or the fitness that you want to have, when you look at that person spends their time differently than the person that got you to where you are now. It means if you are building a fitness business, you can no longer get done with class and then just go to lunch with your friends. Means you have to do things differently, right? Means if you are looking to do a bikini contest or a bikini competition, not a bikini, that's not a good word for it, a fitness competition by the end of this year, you've got to spend your time differently than the person who does not do fitness competitions. It means that you have to invest your resources differently. You have to invest in support in a lot of cases. And it means that the things that you give your attention to are different. So I want to talk for a minute about confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is the idea that you see what you're looking for. And a lot of people will say, and I believe thoroughly, that your reality is filtered based on what you believe, right? So what does that mean? That means, let's say, for example, that you're looking for a new car, and a lot of you guys have heard this example if you've read Mel Robbins' High Five Habit. So she said, you go, you look for a car, and the dealership has a red Acura, and so you decide you're going to test drive a red Acura. So you go and you test drive the red Acura, and you go home and you're thinking about buying this red Acura. Now, all of a sudden, whenever you're driving down the road, you see red Acuras where you never saw red Acuras before. It's the idea that somebody gives you a gift, and let's say it's a star-shaped rock. And then now, every time you're looking at rocks, you're looking for the rocks that are star-shaped. It's just what your brain does. It doesn't look for that thing until that thing becomes important to you. Now it's looking for it. Now, why does that matter? Why that matters is that you have to make the thing that is important to you important to your brain. So we're going to talk about spending some time making that thing important to you. But it also means, if we go back to that idea of what we give our attention to, that we have to change the way that we give our attention to things in our world. So um a lot of us spend time, let me say it this way. You are you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you spend time with people who are complaining, blaming, shaming, justifying, doing all of the level 3, level 2, level 1 behaviors, you're going to end up spending your time in those level 2, level 1 behaviors. So you have to look at the people that you're spending your time with and how you're spending your time with them. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions so far on any of that. I want to give you a few steps that are really going to help you bring your vision into reality for this year. So, I talked in the beginning about the yoga journey, right? And I talked about how it helped me turn a corner on the anxiety and the depression, and then how becoming more comfortable in my body helped me to actually start becoming leaner and fitter, because I felt like the leaner and fitter person, even though the external evidence was not there to show the leaner and fitter person just yet. But what I found out through that journey is that feeling more comfortable in my body created a map for my body, for my brain, to know what being leaner and fitter is like. So I was able to step into that leaner and fitter person because my brain now had a map and it could now step onto the path and move toward the leaner and fitter person without relying on the safety of the past, of the emotional eating, and of the sitting down and watching TV instead of doing the thing that I needed to do. There was now a new map, and my brain felt safe getting on it, getting on that path and moving toward it. Let me know if that makes sense for you guys. So, how do we get that map in place, step on that path, and start moving forward? Okay, so I've got 5 steps for you here. And if you're taking notes, there's going to be 5. The first one is this: practice gratitude for the current situation that you have. So there's all kinds of science that says that the happiest people are the people who practice gratitude. And so it's really important that you recognize your current situation and that you practice that confirmation bias by finding the really good parts about it. Find those really good parts and celebrate them. So every day, practice gratitude for your current situation. I know there are a lot of different journals that you can buy, like daily journals. Some of them are beginning of the day journals, some of them are end of the day journals, but almost every journal that you will buy these days that has guided practice to it will have some sort of gratitude practice. And that's why, because the happiest people, the most successful people, they know what has gone right in their world, and it helps them to practice that confirmation bias around what is going to go right going forward. So, now, step number 1, practice gratitude for your current situation. Go ahead and write that down. Now, step number 2 then is to know what you want and start to filter your reality to match it. So, this is the step where you might be making your resolution, your New Year's resolution, or your goals for your business, your goals for your fitness, your goals for your clients, whatever it is. This is the step where you're going to choose what it is you want. And it's really important that we have specific choices that we make and that we know what they are, because we want to allow that confirmation bias to start looking for the evidence of those things around us. And if we haven't ever drawn a line in the sand or written down what it is exactly that we want, then it's hard for our brain to show us the evidence of it coming toward us. If you never drove the red Acura, then you don't start seeing the red Acuras all around you. So, step number 2 is that you know what you want and you allow your brain to start filtering your reality to look for evidence that it's happening. You guys, comment, questions, thoughts, personal experiences. I'd love to hear all of it. Whether you're watching live or in the replay, give me your comments. All right, step number 3. This is going to be a repetitive step. So, step number 1, practice gratitude. Repetitive. You want to do that every day. Pick a way that you're going to do that. If you wake up in the morning and you run through a list of 10 things, if you do it at night, however you do it. Step number 2, know what you want and filter your reality to match. I would also suggest that you do that every single day. So maybe you start creating pages in your journal, and the top is gratitude. The second is what do I want? And the third is what does it look like when I have it? So I want you to start showing your brain what it looks like. And I want you to do that by using 2 senses at a time. This doesn't have to be a journal thing. It can be. When you journal, you're using your sight, you're using your touch, you're thinking, you may be using your imagination, you may be smelling the smells, you may be hearing the things. And I want you to use two senses at any given time. So, journaling is a great one, but I've got some others here for you too. A lot of people will create a vision board in the new year, right? Here's why vision boards work, because vision boards use more than two senses. So you're seeing what you want, you're touching what you want, you're maybe pasting it onto that vision board, and then you're placing it in a place where you're seeing it over and over again. I want you to, if your goal or your result that you want involves a place, let's say you want to live in a certain neighborhood, or let's say you want to move somewhere, let's say you want to go to vacation somewhere. I want you to think about going to that place or going to a place that's similar. So if one of your dreams for 2022 is to visit Italy, and you know you can't go to Italy until you visit Italy, then maybe you start going to a really authentic mom and pop Italian place near you. Maybe you start looking for Italian touches to decorate your home with. So we want to bring that thing to us, or we want to go to that thing. So visit it, smell the smells, think the thoughts, be with the people. There's a really powerful memory technique called the method of Loki. And if any of you have ever used Prezi, that's a presentation software, and it uses the method of Loki, which means location, right? It's drawn from the word location. It uses the method of Loki to help you remember your speech, because your slides are actually placed into different places, almost on like a map or a drawing. All right, so I want you to visit. I want you to bring that thing to you. Surround yourself with it. Step number 4, I want you to feel into it. So this goes back to that idea that I told you about in the very beginning, that when you feel the result even before you have it, that it helps you create a map in your brain to getting the thing. So that means if you want to make $150,000 in your business this year, I need you to spend time feeling what it's going to feel like when you have $150,000. When you've made $150,000 in your business, what does that feel like? What does the satisfaction feel like? Do you feel like you've accomplished something? Do you feel like you've really helped people? If your goal for 2022 is to buy a new car, I want you to think about what that car is going to feel like when you sit in it. What does it smell like? What does it look like? What kind of stitching do the seats have? All of the things, feel it, and then feel that in your body. So not just in your mind, just not just what are the tactile sensations, but where in your body can you hold that satisfaction of having that thing? What that will do is it will help your brain to create a map to the thing. So now your brain knows the safety of having the thing, knows what it feels like to have the thing. It's no longer foreign. Caveman is going to be way less likely to come out, rear his ugly head, and pull you back into the safety. And then step number 5 is I want you to create decisions based on the place you want to go, not based on the place that you are. So that means if your dream is to have 80 paying clients this year, you do the things that the person with 80 paying clients does. Yo, that means that you show up. right? You do the things even though nobody may be there just yet. Allow yourself to make the decisions from the place that end of 2022 you is, not based on 2020 or 2021. So once you've got all of these practices in place, it becomes easier to allow yourself to make decisions based on end of 2022, not based on current you. All right, y'all. So let me know if you've got questions there. I'm about to wrap this up. So type in your questions. Just to review, we talked about why our brains force us to remake the same day over and over again. And we talked about how making decisions based on your current situation keeps us stuck in your past, because your current situation is actually an iteration of your past situation. And so, in order to make a new future, you have to make new decisions based on the vision, not based on the current circumstances. And then the third thing we talked about is how to create a vision that serves as a map to our future self. So we talked about the 5 steps: practicing gratitude, knowing what you want so that you can allow your reality to filter to match that, showing your brain what it looks like using at least 2 senses, feeling into it, letting that feeling settle into your body, and then allowing yourself to make decisions based on your future vision. I'd love to hear what you think, you guys. Please comment and contribute to the conversation, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching in the replay. If you're watching on YouTube, I would love for you to subscribe and give me a like. And if you are ready to build a booming fitness, health, or wellness business in 2022, then I have something extra special for you. The January session of the Sell Out Your 2022 Business Kickstart is open for registration. And the private pop-up Facebook group that we use for that 2022, that Sell Out Your 2022, is going to open this week. So I want you to get in and get registered now, so that you can strike while the iron's hot. So that's going to be a 4-day business kickstart experience. It's where I come in, I teach live every day. I come back on, I help you with your homework every day. So we do about 2 things every day. There's a private pop-up Facebook group where all of the participants in that business kickstart come together and help each other. We do 4 days. We talk about your offer. We refine your pricing. We talk about your marketing. We make sure that you know who to market to and who is going to be your first set of clients, who's going to be your next set of clients. And then we talk about how to make sales without being salesy, sleazy, slimy. That business kickstart registration is at fitprosconnect.com/bootcamp. So that's fitprosconnect.com/bootcamp. Right now, there is still a coupon code in place. It's New Year 30. So NEWYEAR 30, all one word, 30 digits. That will save you 30% off the registration. So that's in place right now. I would love for you to get in there and get registered. 4 days live training with me happens January 17th to the 20th. If you are building a business, I want you to get in there and let me help you, because I have seen people really grow their businesses and get started from this 4 days. It happens every single time. As a matter of fact, my challenge to you is to make $500 during that week, at least $500 in recurring monthly revenue just from that 4-day business kickstart. And I've got some people watching right now that I know have been through it. So I'd love for you guys to comment and tell everyone how much it helped you and how great it was. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Thank you. I see, love the 5 steps. Thank you so much for that. If you are watching in the replay and you would like to jot out the 5 steps for everybody in the comments, or if you're watching live, you could do that as well. I think that might be super helpful for everybody. And y'all get in and register fitprosconnect.com/bootcamp. And there is a coupon code in place right now, New Year 30, NEWYEAR digits 30. That'll save you 30% off registration. All right, y'all. I love you, and I will see you in 2 weeks. If you would like to see me do this content specific to businesses tomorrow, I'll be doing it in the Grow Your Fitness Business group. So get on over there, and I will see y'all soon.